During a visit with my family not long ago, I took my brother's kids out back for a good old competitive game of hide and seek. Well, as competitive as it can be when the average age was about 4 to 6 and there were limited hiding spots. But my brother came out and he was the first to be it. And so I just stood there watching as he counted, and the kids were kind of scrambling about to find the best hiding place. And my brother's daughter, Isabel, who was 6 years old at the time, and as the oldest, had managed to find a particularly great spot behind this big tree. And as my brother was finding the other kids with excitement one after another, Isabel was just watching closely. And there was a point where I noticed she was visibly torn between keeping to this aim of hiding and this obvious desire that she be found. So as I was watching, she just kept squirming about and growing more and more visibly impatient until obviously she couldn't take it anymore. At which point she just jumped out from behind the tree and just started jumping up and down and yelling, "Find me, Daddy, find me." What a precious moment. Find me, Daddy, find me. I share that story because I think what I witnessed that day in little Isabel's heart really does reveal something in all of our hearts, that we desire to be found. We desire to be found by God. And not just generally found, but personally. Because to be found by another means to have an encounter with another. And as we reflect on living as a missionary disciple, how important it is that we remember that if we are disciples of Jesus Christ, it is because we've had an encounter with him. We've been found by him. He has seen us and loved us. And that encounter, that being found, is something we need to remain open to every day. It is something for us today. We can notice this desire to be found, but I think often if we pay attention to within, we can find that as life gets busy, or often when we're dealing with difficult things that occupy our attention and situations that we want resolved that we're still enduring, that it can often feel like the burden is on us to find God. And the reality is that God desires more than us to show us where he is, to show us that he has found us. In the Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph number 2567, it states, "God calls man first. Man may forget his Creator or hide far from his face. He may run after idols or accuse the deity of having abandoned him. Yet the living and true God tirelessly calls each person to that mysterious encounter known as prayer." God calls man first. God tirelessly calls each person to that mysterious encounter known as prayer. Can you let yourself rest in the truth that today, if you're desiring to be found, to have that encounter with him today, that he desired it first? And that no matter how far it seems he is, or how far you seem to have gone from him, God is near. He is tirelessly calling you back to that encounter with him. Today, the encouragement is that whether God feels close or not, whether you feel right in step with him or lost, that you don't have to do anything other than stop, to look to him and to ask him, "Could you find me?" In the midst of the busyness and demands of work, find me. In the messiness of this relationship I'm dealing with, find me, God. In the midst of this situation that I don't know how to handle, find me. Today, allow yourself to be found by God. Today's suggested scripture passage to pray with is Psalm 139.